In a previous video, I modeled this Sci-Fi lab table, and I'm going to texture it now, but just before I do, I want to show you that I've added this little piece here. And the reason I did that was because I've got this set up right now with a mirror on it so that I can take up less UV space, and there's a little seam that would show up there otherwise, so I've covered it up. And so that's just something that you sometimes have to do. So what I'll show you here is there are materials added. There's metal lab table, and that's for all this metal stuff underneath, including that piece. And then there's wood lab table up there. So there are two materials that will come into Substance Painter. This has already been unwrapped, and I'm providing this in a file pack on the Zero Bio Patreon. I'm providing this blend file as well as the FBX all ready to go. And then we'll see over here in Substance Painter, I've just brought in the FBX, so you would have the exact same FBX and it'll have that little piece there. Now the first thing that I like to do is to come over here and turn on anti-aliasing. That's just in the viewport, and it will look a little bit nicer. Okay, so there is our model. You can see the two texture sets. That's all the metal, that's all of the wood. So what we need to do first of all is come to the texture set settings, scroll down, and bake the mesh maps. And for that, I'm going to open this up, and you can see I've got the two texture sets that I want to bake. I'm going to put this at 2K. I'm going to uncheck ID. We're not using ID masks. I don't need thickness. And on the curvature, for the method here, I'm going to switch this to generate from normal map. And that will often give you better curvature results. If you use curvature or edge wear, I find that works better. I just leave the default values. I'm going to come back, and I'll also put on super sampling 4 times, anti-aliasing, and then I'll go ahead and I'll bake. All right, there we go. The model has been baked, and you can already see some ambient occlusion in there, and it looks really nice. I can hold down the right mouse button and hold down the shift key, and I can move the HDRI around to change my lighting. I often will switch my HDRI here from panorama, which it defaults to this one. I just happen to like the lighting for that, but regardless, there it is. Now, I've got my two texture sets. I'm going to delete the default layer on both of them. We're not going to need those. Come back to the metal. I've done a number of videos where I've built up materials from scratch, and in this video I am going to use a smart material that I've already created. Of course, Substance Painter comes with many smart materials that you can use, many wood or metal. So if you type in metal, you can see, and I've got some that I've saved as well. I'm going to look for metal lab. There it is, metal lab table ZB. And I'm providing that smart material in the file pack for you if you want to use that on this or other models. So I'm just going to take this smart material, drag it over to the layer stack, and give it a minute, and it will load up. And that is what I'm going for in this case. So it's got all of the metal, but it's got two sort of effects. So what I'll do is I will open this up, and we'll have a look at this. So of course I have a dirt layer right up top, and I just use the dirt generator to do that. And turn it on, turn it off. So there's a little bit of dirt. So we don't really need to discuss that. But what you see down here are two metal sort of layers. And if you put this on another model, it may not work out too well. You may have to come in here and adjust certain things. I, of course, have a black mask here, and that was so that I could get the red on this stuff down here, but the rest of the base metal on this, but also just on here. All right, so you'll have to decide on your model. If I was to turn that off, I would just have this same base metal on everything, and that already looks relatively nice, at least to me. Whatever, it depends on your likings, I suppose. If I open this up and scroll down to the bottom, I'm going to actually hide all of this stuff.